Hey guys, here we are in the Spec Miata at the Nurburgring 24-hour for a track guide. So for this first lap here, I'll be going through each corner, basically analyzing my braking zones and braking points, and then for the second lap, I'll play it at full speed. So let's start the lap. And as we're going down to turn 1, we're in 5th gear, and we're looking over on the left-hand side to the 150 sign. I'd say right as the 150 starts, you can see we're just about starting to get off the gas, and around the 125, we're getting onto the gas down to 2nd gear, and right as we get to the apex, trailing off, focusing just to try to coast, let the car rotate at the apex, and as we're switching directions over to the left, again, letting off the gas, tap on the brake. You can stay in 2nd, you can go to 1st if you'd like, but you'll get a bit of wheel spin on exit, so staying in 2nd's the safe way to go. Shifting back up the gears, coming over to the left-hand side, or right-hand side of the track for a left-hander. Good braking zone for this corner, looking over to the, as soon as the grass starts. Right when the grass starts, you can see letting off the gas, going over to the brakes, just for the tap of the brakes. Down to 3rd, again, over to the right-hand side, tap the brakes, down to 2nd. Focusing, just trying to bring the car over to the apex curb and using all the curb on exit. We're going down to the hairpin here. Good place to brake is as soon as the white curbing starts. So again, white curbing on the left here, and as soon as that starts, letting off the gas and hard braking down to 2nd gear, trying to straight line brake it. You just partial gas around the whole corner, back to full gas. And now as we're going through the Schumacher S here, it should be pretty easily flat, maybe a short lift necessary, but you can see I was able to make it flat here with this is time trial, so basically empty tank of fuel. So having a lot of speed as we approach this left-hander here, good braking zone for this corner. Looking again right as the 100 board, or even a little bit before, so like that patch of asphalt right before. Hard braking down to 3rd gear, letting off at apex, partial gas, bringing over to the left-hand side, again, tap of the brake, letting the car coast, and let the car rotate a bit. Easy to get into the sand on exit, so just make sure you don't run too wide there, let off more if necessary. Going up to the fast chicane right here, so just important to take as much speed as you can through here, braking around the 65 or so, a little bit close to the 50, down to 3rd, get back to the gas, rev all 3rd gear. Then for this corner, very difficult because it's off camber. See, I'd say like, just it's kind of hard to judge the braking point, but if you have those cones, it's a good place to judge, like a car length before the cones. The wall is a good place to brake here, straight lining it down to 2nd gear. Now we're finally onto the Nordschleife layout. These next few corners should be flat out. Bring yourself over to the left-hand side, get a wide entry, take this corner flat. Now we're approaching a pretty complicated corner right here, so focusing on, we have the 2 cones here. This is a good place to let off in between those cones. Straight line, and then down to back to 3rd, again coasting at the apex, perhaps letting the car rotate a bit there. Staying this whole section in 3rd gear, braking a little bit through there, tap of the brakes, but staying this whole section in 3rd, again hard straight line braking, and then staying in 3rd, just keeping the momentum up. Going through this whole section, this is one of the fastest parts of the track. Just staying in 4th gear for this whole section. This should be flat, but just keep it in 4th. Going uphill, so we're losing the torque. As soon as we get over the next crest, that's when we're going to shift into 5th gear. Still waiting, and finally into 5th gear. And staying over to the left-hand side of the track, just take the line of least resistance up to this fast left-hander. Trying to hug the curb as much as you can right here, and then onto this hard braking zone. Try to focus, just look on the left-hand side. You can see where the curbing is starting. 2 cones are also a good place to judge. I mean, so you're just laying off the gas right as say like about 2 car lengths before the end of the curb. And then again down to 4th, down to 3rd. I went a bit wide here. If you need to hold it a bit tighter, that might be the better line to take, but just before the end of the curbing is the best place to brake there. Now for this next section, it's going to be an uphill left followed by a right followed by a left. So basically treat it like each corner you can focus on like one downshift. So you'll see as we're coming up to this left-hander, I'm going to pause it right about here. There's the 2 cones, still full throttle I believe, still full throttle, and just letting off again, probably between the cones, down to 4th for the left, and then braking again, down 1 for the right. And then finally, again, one more downshift for the left. So just treat each corner, but focus on, again, on not overshooting. It's a very technical section, so just try to focus on the driving line there, just keeping it on the asphalt. Coming up to double left-handers here. First left-hander, I believe it's just like a let-off. Just let off the gas. And small tap of the brakes. Then again, not an easy braking zone, but just try to make sure you get a bit early. Very easy to overshoot this corner. Looks like you can go a lot faster than you can. Again, downhill braking here, so the car is going to slide a bit further than you'd expect. So I'd say right as we get to the 2 cones, you can see that's when we're letting off the gas. Letting off the gas down to 3rd. Down. If you go down to 2nd, it's questionable. Again, I feel like you get a lot of wheel spin, so staying in 3rd is pretty safe there. So probably prefer 3rd instead of 2nd. This next section, known as miss, hit, miss. Trying to miss this first apex and trying to bring it over to hit the 2nd one, then going wide, missing that 3rd one. And then focusing on the slowest corner of the track. So you were just letting off right those 2 cones, straight line braking it down to 3rd. Again, down to 2nd. The car is going to slide here. Just try to minimize the slide if you can. Back up to 3rd. I had and I didn't do this next corner that well, but up to 4th gear, generally braking at the end of the curbing, so pause it at the end of the curbing. Oh, my bad. But yeah, down to 3rd. Kind of overshot it a bit, but yeah, preferably if you can have 2 tires on the asphalt, and I had 0 there, but difficult off-camber corner here. Just keep the whole car in 3rd. Back up to 4th. This next left should be flat. As we approach this blind right-hander, you can see we're letting off the gas, and then hard braking down to 3rd, and then turning very late for the corner. So just as long as you don't overshoot that corner, it's definitely apex is a lot later than you would expect. Now for this long back straight, we're going a bit uphill, and this car doesn't have that much torque, so we're going to stay in 4th gear. We're not going to shift up to 5th. We're just going to keep it right on the rev limiter, hovering right around 120. Just keep it right on the rev limiter for this whole section. Again, just staying on the right-hand side of the track. As we're approaching this left-hander, this is like almost flat, but if we just go through this in slow motion, see, still flat through the corner. Still flat. Do we let off it? Okay, no, we let off on entry. Let off partial gas. I don't think it's ever a full lift off. Partial lift off around apex, a little earlier in the apex, then back to full gas. Right-hander should be flat. Then for this right-hander hairpin, right at the start of the curbing, let off the gas and down to full brakes. Try not to run too wide here. Just partial gas it. Try not to get too much wheel spin. Very easy to get a lot of wheel spin here. And up to 4th gear right before we go into the carousel, braking right as the curbing sticks out there. Down to 2nd, just try to keep your car in the carousel, try not to ride out of it. I rode out a little bit on the end there, but okay, approaching the final section of the track. Staying flat through this left, and then through this left we're going to stay in 4th, but small brake on entry. That is a very technical right-hander, not this one, but we're still in 4th here. And then, right as we're basically getting off the curbing, downshifting 3rd, tapping the brakes. Then this whole next section should be in 4th gear, but just hold the brake, try to just hug the curbing, focus on the line more than anything. Just stay very close, small brakes, cut the curbing as much as you can, and then approaching this next corner. We're at the very bottom of the hill, going up to an uphill. Right at the bottom of the hill, we're starting to brake, let off the gas, tap the brakes down to 3rd, use all the curbing on the left-hand side. We're up to 4th gear now. Small tap down to 3rd, and stay in 3rd for this whole section. As soon as the curbing on the left-hand side ends, you can slow down. Approaching U2 corner here. Right at the end of the curbing, again, getting onto the brakes. Down to 3rd gear. Using all the curbing on the left-hand side. This left-hander again looking at the 2 cones. Still full throttle in between the 2 cones. So basically right after the 2 cones, starting on the brakes. Ran a bit wide there. Probably could have broke a bit earlier. Going downhill, approaching the jump. Don't think we'll get too much air here. Small jump. Hard on the brakes. Just make sure you're hugging the curbing. Keep the momentum up through this next section. Finally get up to 5th gear on the downhill using all those extra revs. And fast right and fast left coming up, so look on the left-hand side or right-hand side. It's a hard place to judge where to brake, but again, I'd say right after the 2 cones, down to 4th. And as soon as look at the white curbing on the right-hand side, looks like it's starting to end or starting to turn from the grass to the dirt. So downshift from 4th to 3rd. Try not to run too wide on the curbing here. Second carousel, just have a tight line through that section. Coming on to the long back straight, up to 4th gear. Small lift, is there any brake? Just almost a full lift there. Try to get as close as you can to the curbing without actually hitting it. If you hit the curbing, it generally launches you into the grass on the left-hand side. So back to the full throttle. We'll just skip a bit of the straight here. Kind of like going down the hill. And I think on this lap you might have overshot it. I think the best place to brake for this corner. Oh my bad. Oh wow. Okay, well. Didn't mean to go that far back, but again, approaching this downhill, and we'll pause it. You can see the 2 cones, end of the curbing, and then between the 2 and the 1 cones, like right at this line, that's the best place to brake. I overshot that a bit, down to 4th, down to 3rd, and then finally down to 2nd. So I ran a bit wide on this curbing here. Anyways, that was a lap around the Nurb 24 hours, and now I'll play the lap full speed without any commentating. But hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.